Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser coming to you from St. Nicholas Orthodox Church here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for this week's midweek reflection. And this week I'm reflecting a little more on something I talked about on Sunday in my homily, which is FOMO, the fear of missing out. And as long as my sermon was, and it was a longer one even for me, and that's saying something, I get it. There was more I wanted to say, so I wanted to take this opportunity to really get a little deeper into this idea of what we're afraid of missing out. And I think really there's kind of three categories of things that we often are afraid of missing out on that we hold on to instead of following the way of the cross, which is to deny those things in order to get other things. Because that's really what the problem is. The way of the cross tells us that to get what we really want, to get the higher things, the more important things, to achieve the salvation that God is offering us, we have to let things go along the way. And too often we're not willing to do it because we're afraid of missing out on something. So I want to look a little closely, really quickly, into the things, or at least the categories of the things that we might be afraid of missing out and why, and really what we're really not getting because of those things. So I think if we think of the things that we're afraid of missing out, one of the categories is pleasure. It's hard to turn down a pleasure because we like it. It feels good. We like different things. We like the way things make us feel or situations or whatever. Pleasure is hard. It's hard to turn down pleasure because it's pleasurable, right? But what pleasure robs us of when we just go, especially for easy pleasures and especially sinful pleasures, we are afraid of missing out on pleasure, but we get robbed of fulfillment. Fulfillment is not what you get when you seek your pleasures. When you seek your pleasures, ultimately, you're going to want more pleasures. If you like to vacation, and I love to vacation, you're going to want more vacation. If you like a drink, you're going to want 2 drinks. If you like a candy bar, you don't want 2 candy bars. 1 scoop of ice cream, you don't want 2. And then it's going more and more and more. So in other words, pleasure doesn't give us what we want. It doesn't fulfill us. Because really, ultimately, we need to be fulfilled. And pleasure is not the route. And when we seek pleasure, what do we miss out on? Fulfillment. That's one of the things that we get robbed of when we're afraid of missing out, and we stick to our pleasures. Another thing that we like, and I think we have to really be honest about this one, especially in the age of digital media, and especially social media, is distraction. I hear a lot of people struggling with the distraction of social media. Getting on the, what do they call it, the death scroll, where you just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. Why? Because it's so exciting to see what your friend had for dinner last night? No. Ultimately, if we're honest, because some of that is a distraction. Yes, there is the sort of hope for maybe you see something interesting or funny or you learn something you didn't know. But ultimately, there is value in, at least we think there's value in distraction. We get taken away from our worries and our cares, and it's just kind of nice to be distracted. And yet, when we aren't willing to let go of distraction, what we rob ourselves of is meaning. I hear people talk a lot about the meaninglessness of their distractions. Well, that's true because our distractions rob us of things that have meaning, that have deep worth, deep value. And then again, that we can't get through finding distraction. If you get distracted and you like it, you're going to want more distraction. So if we're going to get to real meaning, we have to be willing to let go of our fear of missing out on being distracted with something. And the last category is similar. It's similar to pleasure, similar to distraction, but it's different enough that I want to mention. That's comfort. Comfort, sometimes we think of it as, in a sense, the absence of pain. But it isn't just an absence. It's something that is real in a sense that when you get something that just feels good. For me, it's that first sitting down after a whole morning service on a Sunday of Orthros and liturgy, and then everything afterwards and before, and I get to coffee hour, and I walk around, and eventually I'm going to sit down. And that first sit down just feels so good because it's comfortable. Nothing wrong with that. But no matter what our comforts are, some are sinful, some aren't, if we are afraid of missing out on our comfort, we're going to miss out on what we really want, the deeper thing that we really want, which is peace. So we can seek after comfort, thinking we're going to get to peace, and we never get there. We just want more comfort. when really we're afraid of missing out on comfort, but we're robbing ourselves of peace. That peace, as Jesus says, passes all understanding. It is the peace of contentment, the peace of being whole, of being held, of being okay, of being just doing well. That's the peace that comes from God that we rob ourselves of when we seek after comfort. So, 3 things that we're always afraid of missing out on: pleasures, distractions, comforts. Again, might be simple, might not be. But if we're afraid of missing out and we hold on to them tightly, we're robbing ourselves of their really better counterparts and the deeper values of fulfillment and meaning and peace. So let's keep working on our FOMO. Let's realize that missing out on pleasures, distractions, and comforts is okay. We're going to be okay. Not only are we going to be okay, we're going to be great. We're going to be doing well, because when we do miss out those things, and we do it by the way of the cross, we deny ourselves those things, then we get to what we really deeply want, which is fulfillment and meaning and peace. So I hope that rounds out some things I didn't get to talk about on Sunday. If you hadn't watched, if you want to go back and watch it, you can go and see that. And that's it. So God bless you. If you found this useful, please share it. And God willing, we'll see you in next week's video.